Good morning, true crime friends. How y'all doing? Listen, we're finally done. We're at day 4 of the state of Tennessee versus LaToshia Daniels. Honey, this case wraps up today. I'm going to tell you every single thing. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it out, and hype this video, assuming you can find the hype button. If you cannot find the hype button, do not spend one instant worrying about it. It's not for you. Me and you, we're going to get to 30,000 subscribers together. We're so close. Okay, so look. On the last day of trial, day 4, we were supposed to have closing statements from both the state and the defense, and then they were supposed to do a verdict, right? And I was like, ooh, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This is going to go so nice. And then what happened was they took all day, and I mean all day. And I was like, what is happening? The defense attorney, discount Kris Jenner, kept going up there and be like, but your honor. And I was like, okay, ma'am, I understand that you're passionate and you're fighting for your client, and every criminal defendant should have an attorney that is as passionate as you. Also, girl, I'm sick of you. I'm so sick of you. Despite the fact that I think she's an excellent attorney, oh, I was sick of her. And then finally, after lunch, at long last, the state got up for their closing. And I was like, okay. The state opens it up by quoting the defendant. And they said, where she was on the stand, and she's like, he broke up with me from a disappearing message. Who does that? And then she went on to say she wanted him to feel the same hurt she was feeling. To me, that sounds like premeditation. That sounds like she was thinking like, if I pew him up, I'm going to feel real, a whole lot better in my spirit. And then he won't be here no more. And then everybody's going to live happily ever after, mostly me. Only she says she had decided to unfortunately unalive herself. It's funny to me that she had the gun, she had the bullets, she had all the things, but she never seemed to get around to that part of it. I'm not saying that she should have. Obviously, she should not have unalived herself, but she was like, I'm having ideations. I'm so depressed. It's all I could think about. But somehow, that's the one goal you never got accomplished on that day. Okay. The state let us know, listen, Brodus was terrible. He was absolutely a horrible human being, but he was still the victim of this crime. Now, should she have pewed him up because he broke her heart? No, of course not. Also, he was still a victim. So then the state was like, look, I'm going to make this real easy for you. She's charged with first-degree unfortunate unaliving for the pewation of young Brodus, and she's charged with criminal attempted first-degree unfortunate unaliving for the pewation of his wife, and also she's charged with using a firearm. And I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, we understand what the charges are. Let's get to closing. The day is half over. The state was like, but wait, there's more. Let me explain the charges to you. She's charged with unlawful right? You can't, there's reasons that you can like pew people up, but not because they broke your heart. And if it's premeditated, that makes it first degree. That means you thought about it and you did it on purpose. She went out and she purchased a gun. What did she think was going to happen when she purchased that gun? What she thought was going to happen is exactly what happened. And then the state is like, look, we had the autopsy person up here. The medical examiner was like, she shot him up, filled his behind full of lead. 5 shots. It was a mess. 1 in his head, 3 in his body, and 1 in his butt. Popped a cap dead in his ass, y'all. And then the state was like, and then the psychiatrist came up here and was just like, she was not insane. She was depressed. And listen, you can be sad. Still also, you can't pew up people. Now, if they're going to explain criminal contempt, that means you tried to unfortunately unalive somebody, but you failed. But also, you were reckless. Keep in mind, this lady has told us why she did what she did. You broke my heart. She made decisions that day. A broken heart is no excuse. Also, if broken hearts were an excuse, I wouldn't even have a job. And I was like, thank you so much. You summed that all up for us nicely. And now this very, very annoying discount Kris Jenner is going to come up here for the defense and tell us her sad tale of woes. Now listen. I understand that this lady was out there leaving it all on the field. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I believe that this lady, whose name escapes me right now, because I never wrote it down and I did not attempt to remember it, is a good lawyer. She did everything she could for her client. She fought the good fight. Also, she annoyed the bejesus out of me. Is everything in Tennessee this slow? Everything about this case was so slow. Oh my God, it was so slow. I couldn't take it. But Discount Kris Jenner got up there and she's like, look, if you look at, there's a bunch of different ways to look at things. When I was in high school, I went to the Salvador Dali Museum and I was like, ma'am, why are we discussing your high school field trips? I don't think that's what we're here for. She was like, So they had this piece of art that was way far away. And when you looked at it one way, it looked like George Washington. But when you got up close, it looked like something totally different. So you could look at things from a distance and dispassionately and be like, oh yeah, I know what happened. But if you know up close all the details, it's a totally different story. And that's what we have here. She goes on to say, Brodus lied. He was a lying-ass liar who lied every time he opened his mouth. Here are some examples. And then she played them videos from Brodus. Y'all. Brodus, the least likable victim probably we've seen in a very long time, is sitting up here with his doughy, pathetic self going, well, my wife says that I can have a girlfriend, but my girlfriend says I can't have other girlfriends. Okay, Brodus, I don't like this man. He's supposed to be a minister, right? He's supposed to be a pillar of the community and leading people in the community. The only thing he was doing over there was trying to have a polyamory ministry, drink brown liquor, smoke cigars, and screw unto others before they screw unto you. He was up here laying pipe with all the sisters who would have him from down at the church. It was terrible. The defense attorney is like, so he's a lying liar who lies. And my client, LaToshia, she's a sad sack. You see how sad she was? And look at that wildebeest that's on her head. She got bad hair. She's sad. She has a real sad face. And people have been mean to her whole life. Okay, fine. Again, I'm not quoting. I'm giving you the spirit of what the lawyer said. He's a liar and she's pathetic. Not in those words. She has some like ticklish brain situations happening, but like she believed all the lies her married boyfriend told her. Wait, married men who want to sleep with you also tell other lies? Say it ain't so. Oh my goodness. But Tosh, who was like, sad from birth, according to her lawyer, I don't know, fell for all of his lies and manipulation, despite the fact that she was an anger management therapist, had a PhD, had raised children, had had 2 previous marriages. She had been upset when husband number 2 cheated on her, but somehow she felt like it was okay for her to sleep with the preacher from down at the church while being friends and playing tennis with his wife. Girl, this is some sliding scale morality if I have ever seen it in my life. So the defense attorney was like, find her guilty of voluntary manslaughter. That means, yes, she pew-pewed him up, but oops, he was a liar who did terrible things. I mean, he was not a great guy. He was doughy with braces and thought he could lay pipe all over town. Clearly, he was mistaken. Well, honestly, he wasn't mistaken. He was laying pipe all over town. And then Tosh laid some lead right into his behind. This was a heat of passion thing. She was upset. She was sad. It was not premeditated. She bought that gun to pew-pew up herself, not him necessarily. Also, when it comes to the pew-pewation of his wife, that was just reckless endangerment. She said to her, excuse me, please get out of the way so I can keep shooting your husband. And the wife wouldn't get out of the way, so she just gently nudged her aside with a bullet to the shoulder. It was all, if you look at it up close, then you will see. Y'all, I was just like, okay, these are 2 very different sides of the same argument. One part, the state sees it one way, the defense sees it a different way. Okay, fine. But because the state has the burden of proof, they get a final close. And the state stands up for their final close. And I was like, dear Black Jesus, please let this be quick, because now it's getting close to 5 o'clock. You're going to go late on a Friday. This lady's going to get convicted on the strength of this jury wants to be done with this whole thing. And frankly, so do I. Although I have loved covering this case. So the prosecutor stands up and says, this is easy. It's so easy. She drove to Memphis. She says, oh, my memory is foggy. I don't remember what happened. But she very clearly remembered telling Tosh to move. Girl, move so I can shoot your husband instead of you. So she forgot everything except for she didn't forget that she shot Tosh trying to get her to move out of the way. Okay. She might not be a reliable narrator. See, also, she was like, as soon as she started sleeping with Brodus, he had all these rules. And then the prosecutor said something that I had not thought about. She said Brodus had all these rules. Were they rules? At the time this affair began, Tosh was married and Brodus was married. He was like, hey girl, hey, download this secret sneaky confide app so we can talk to each other. That's not a rule. That's just common sense if you're trying to hide an affair. She was not forced to have an affair with this man. She was not forced to pay for him for all his stuff. Oh yes, in case you missed any part of this trial before, yeah, Tosh was paying all of Brodus's expenses. In fact, she was going into debt and was in financial ruin because he likes cigars. So she was paying for his cigar club membership at 2 different clubs. She started smoking cigars too. He got into bourbon. So she was buying him expensive bourbons. He wanted to go bike riding. And so she bought herself a $2,500 bike. And he was like, how come you didn't buy me a $2,500 bike either? What? I don't know the kind of dang-a-lang that makes you put up with this kind of foolishness. I've never had it. And I hope to never have it. Where you're just like, you totally take leave of your senses. Like, here, take all my money. Take all my everything else. He asked her to read books. And so she read books. I wish I would be in an affair and my affair partner is like, here's your reading list for this week. You will have a book report next Thursday. I bet you the heck I'm not. But anyway, and so she was very, very compliant, overly compliant, because she had features of borderline personality disorder. Shout out to all our borderline brothers and sisters. I don't understand it. I promise you I don't. I'm not judging you, but this heifer, she had issues beyond borderline. The prosecutor goes on to explain, listen, we've only heard one side of this story. It's real easy to feel sorry for the sad sack who's left alive. She's the only one telling her story. And I was like, oh, prosecutor, I had not thought about that. He was like, what would Brodus say if he was here? If he was still alive, if she had not filled him full of lead with his lying ass? Would Brodus agree that this is how things went down? Would Brodus agree that he told her, oh yeah, go over to my house and talk to my wife about it. Everything is going to be good. Based on the way Brodus behaved when he got to his house and saw Tosh sitting there in the living room, something tells me he didn't tell her, oh yeah, go on over to my house and discuss being sister wives with my wife. That's going to go real good. This nice church lady that I married, who was in her late 30s, early 40s, who has already said no to this ethical non-monogamy. Sure, she's going to be real excited to see you, her tennis partner, and find out that me and you been doing the horizontal mambo. Ma'am, I don't think so. So the state goes on to explain that depression is bad. It will make you sad. It can have very detrimental effects on your life. You know what it doesn't do? It doesn't make you pew other people. Sometimes if it gets real bad, you might want to harm yourself, and we sincerely hope that that is not the case. But Tosh said she was planning to hurt herself, but you know who she actually hurt? Brodus. She somehow figured out how to unalive Brodus, but while standing there with a loaded gun, she didn't figure out how to do herself. See, also, you should not do that. It's terrible. Anyway, the state is like, Brodus did not invite her over. But you know what did happen? She was just like, I'm real sad at Brodus. He broke my heart. So she didn't shoot him once. She didn't shoot him twice. She didn't shoot him 3 times. She shot him 7 times. Like, pew, 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 pew. It was a lot of shooting. He says, the state, find her guilty of first-degree unfortunate unaliving. Thank you so much. And then he sits down, right? And then the jury goes out to deliberate. Now, if this was me, the big mouth lady from the internet, look, here in North Jersey, we're not playing like that. You would have went to that man's house and shot him up and gave his wife some lead poisoning too. No, ma'am. You need to go to jail, go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect you $200. So the jury deliberates for a couple of hours. And I was like, okay, they need time to think it over and mull it over. And then we hear, oh, there's a verdict. Y'all, I was so excited. You know how much I love a verdict. Oh, I love a verdict. So discount Kris Jenner stands up. Her jaw is tight. Tosh, you can't really see her. And then the jury, the foreperson was like, you want me to read the whole thing? It is getting late. TikTok, I have already ordered Chinese and it should be at my house in a few minutes. So let's make quick work of this, judge. So the judge is like, girl, I know Chinese is delicious. What you order? Orange chicken? Anyway, go ahead and read it. So she's like, the state of Tennessee finds LaToshia with the wild cankalon on her head guilty of second-degree murder. Okay. I was like, wait, what does that mean for us? And by us, I mean the people of the internet who had totally planned on her getting LWOPed. Life without the possibility of parole. I don't know if she was ready. I was very, very ready. Discount Kris Jenner was tight. Ooh, she was tight. And so first-degree murder is LWOP. Like, you just go into prison, do not pass go, do not collect $200, no hope for you. Second degree gives you an exposure of anywhere from, like, look, a bunch of people are saying a bunch of different things. I've heard as few as 15 years, as many as 60 years. That's a very wide range. Tosh is in her 40s, so she gonna be a senior citizen well into senior citizenship when she gets out of prison. And I was like, okay, so she's going to do some real time. I'm happy about that. Now, when it comes to the pupuation of the wife, she is found guilty of reckless endangerment, which means, if I'm reading this jury correctly, they believed she didn't necessarily plan to go over there, but she did go over there and she pew-pewed up Brodus in a real bad way. Also, she shot the wife on accident, basically. And then the third charge, the gun charge, they found her not guilty. I guess if you find that the first charge was not like felony, in the first degree, whatever, then necessarily the gun charge, I don't know, but they found her not guilty on the gun charge, but she did get convicted of second degree unfortunate unaliving. This is the thing that was interesting to me. If you watch Discount Kris Jenner, as they read the verdict, she was tight when she heard guilty on second degree. When they said reckless endangerment, she relaxed a little bit. And when they said not guilty on the gun charge, she nodded her head yes. Just a tiny little micro nod. I was like, okay. So she thinks the jury got it a little bit right. The judge was like, thank you so much for your service. Girl, go on, get your orange chicken. Have yourself a lovely evening. I hope you get a lucky Chinese cookie, one of them lucky Chinese fortune cookies. Tosh, hey girl, hey, listen. Your bond has been revoked and they're going to lock you up and send you off to prison. She was crying real wet tears then. Now, here's the thing. If you watch the playback of the verdict on regular speed, she just looks like she's standing there real still. But you know how I always do. I watch everything on 2X. And when you speed it up, tiny little motions get exaggerated. So it's clear she's crying. She's like, and then tears, wet tears are rolling down her face. And I was just like, girl. Now, this is what I learned. This is what I have decided. The jury are very, very nice Tennessee folks. And they may have held this minister in high regard, or ministers in general. Like, look, obviously, you just can't go over there and pew somebody up because you're real mad. But maybe this guy should have had, like, he should have held himself to a higher standard, right? Like, you hold certain people in the community to a higher standard. Law enforcement people and doctors and people who should have known better, right? This minister should have known better. But he's out here lying to everybody, committing every sin in the book. He's like the 10 Commandments. I'm committing sins they hadn't even thought of back in 10 Commandment days. He broke all the commandments, all of them. We see you, Brodus. I hope you're enjoying the open pit barbecue that is hell. I don't know his state of grace. Maybe he got forgiven. Maybe he was just like, oh, Lord, I'm sorry. On his way out, I don't know. Oh, wait. There's one thing I got. I forgot to point out, when the state was given their second close, the guy said, the defense attorney said, she was screaming, "You broke my heart." Do you think Brodus could hear her with that bullet in his head? I was like, not shade. A shady closing argument? Yes, sir. Can you say more? Please say more. That part just kind of cracked me up. Anyway, apparently, so when she got convicted, that very adorable judge was like, I, as the 13th juror, I was like, wait, is she a member of Brandy Churchwell's channel? I thought they were the 13th jurors. She's like, I, as the 13th juror, say, girl, they done convicted you. You going to jail. And your bond is revoked. Come to find out, Tosh has been out in these free streets on bond for years. Many, many years. She just been free roaming around Memphis, Little Rock. I don't know where she was, but she's been free for many years on these streets, which is gonna make going to prison, child, a total shock to her system. It was probably bad enough when she was down there to the nervous hospital or whatever. I hope she got some good mental health care while she was locked up, but that does explain how she wrote 2 books in the last couple of years. I was like, I did not know the prison had a press. The prison don't have to have a press because she was free. How did this woman who went into somebody's house, pew-pewed them up, and then tried to escape the police, get out on bond? Where they do that at? And reportedly, allegedly, Tosh has remarried. What? Who married this lady? One of her books is dedicated to her third husband. Oh, the kind of love, blah, blah, blah. Tennessee, do y'all have conjugal visits? Because she gonna want one of those. Apparently, she needs a good to keep her all the way together. You know what I mean? Her brain just kind of slithers out her ear if she's not getting that good. So she wept and took her behind off to prison. But I was just like, oh, nice people of Tennessee. Y'all took compassion on her. Someday she will be free. It won't be anytime in the near future. And for that, I respect you. I tip my hat to you, nice people of Tennessee. You're like, okay. She did the terrible thing, and she needs to go away, but not forever, ever, because Brodus was terrible. And so then, y'all, every time you think this case is like, okay, that's all there was. It's over. Wait. But wait, there's more. Discount Kris Jenner was like rubbing her client's back, like, okay, I'm real sorry, you're gonna go to jail, but let's see if we can make this as seamless for you as possible. We would like to get the pre-sentencing report right away, and let's get her sentenced right away so she can start serving right away and figure out like where she's gonna be. Let's do January 12th. Here comes that shady prosecutor. It was like, oh, January 12th. No. I'm gonna be in Cabo that week. Ma'am, sir, she going to prison and you going to Cabo. I'm not mad about it. You know why? Because you worked hard on this case and you ain't shoot nobody that we know of yet. But Tosh was like, wait. What is going to become of me? Girl, you going to go and be with people just like you. Maybe you'll get some nice counseling. You a therapist. Maybe you'll offer some counseling. Also, I know that the state of Tennessee did not pull her therapy license while this case was pending. They were waiting for a verdict. Lo, these 6 years later, she about to lose her license. So can she be like an unlicensed therapist down there in prison? Child, everybody's an unlicensed therapist. That's just called having friends. You know she's going to be down there trying to therapize people in the prison. Okay, good for you. But now the most important question of this trial, what will happen to the Kankalon? I need to know. Now look, it was me who started the Save the Kankalon campaign where I was encouraging people to no longer hunt wild Kankalon. I would just like to make an important PSA right now. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, a Kankalon is not a real animal. I made it up. Hi, white people. Listen, let me just explain. A Kankalon is fake hair. It's like, it's synthetic. It's 100% fake hair. I believe made by our brothers and sisters over in Japan or some foreign country. You can get it at low, low prices at your local Sally Beauty Supply. If you've ever seen a lady with all kinds of extensions in her hair, now if she bought bundles, those expensive bundles, that was probably human hair. Most of everything else, Kankalon. Now, I saw that very bad, very large wig that Tosh was wearing on her head that to me looked like some kind of raccoon just climbed on her head and fell asleep or died or whatever. I was like, is she wearing a Davy Boone hat or Daniel Boone hat? Remember the ones when you was a kid with the fur with the tail in the back? That's what it looked like she was wearing to me. But then I was like, wait, that's just a big wig. Clearly a cheap Kankalon. I just want you to know that I invented the Save the Kankalon campaign just because it tickled my funny bone. Now, this is what I really, really need to know. When she takes her new mugshot, now that she is a convict, will they let her wear a wig? Can you wear a wig in a mugshot? The only experience I have with this is from on Braxton Family Values when Trina got arrested for that DUI. They said she had to take her wig off for the mugshot. And so now I'm asking myself, will we get a chance to see her real hair? Hi, internet. Please go out into the world and find this lady's mugshot because I need to see if they let her keep that dead raccoon on her head if she had to take the raccoon off. Is PETA upset? I'm not entirely certain what manner of beast she was wearing on her head, but to me, it looked like some crazy ass beast. Now listen, we're going to get out here. We're going to have a good rest of our day. We're not going to shoot anybody, even if they break our hearts. Also, save the Kankalon. I will see you next crime.